Hi everyone, it's Fiona from Lavender Blue, and today I'm back with another Freebie Friday. If you're not yet a member of my Facebook group, every Friday I have a free printable and I usually make a video and we make something with it. And I will link my Facebook group below. So this week the free printable that I have is a piece of old ephemera. If you were watching one of my my haul videos, a second-hand shop haul video, in my last video I showed you an old maths book and it actually had this old piece of ephemera in there. But this is actually the original here, and this is my printout. So what I wanted to show you was how you can take a piece of printed ephemera and you can actually make it look realistically old, and you can age it up and distress it up. So I'm just going to show you that, but first of all I'm going to remove, first of all actually I wanted to talk about paper. So you can print it if you like onto ordinary printer paper, but make sure it's like the thinnest sort of printer paper, because usually when you find old letters and old receipts and pieces like this, it's not a very thick paper, it's usually actually quite thin. So if you want it to be more realistic, I would print it onto a thinner paper. So an example is I printed mine onto some butcher paper. I'm not sure where you can find this on the internet. You probably can find it. But I happened to find mine in a second-hand shop, and it's quite thin and quite similar to the original, although it has a little bit more of a texture to it. Another alternative is to buy, I don't have one here, but if you buy the newsprint paper pads, if you go into any art supply store or craft supply store, they usually have, you know, pads of drawing paper or watercolor paper, and usually they will have the newsprint paper pads there too. And the newsprint paper is very thin, it's a little bit thinner than this even. It does have a different colour to it, but you can still print out your vintage ephemera and it would turn out fine. So that is a really great paper to use as well, just anything that's thinner than your ordinary printer paper if you really want it to be seem authentic. And another one that I've heard about is called butter paper, and I haven't seen it before. I saw someone using it on YouTube, so you might want to Google that, but that is a very, very thin paper. It's called butter paper. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually cut down my white edges. Where I've printed it, I've got some white edges here. So I'm just going to cut them off. And it doesn't have to be exact, because we are going to distress the edges further anyway. So just cut that off. And my other edges are fine for now. Maybe this one, just a little bit. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so first of all, you'll notice, just making sure I'm in frame, you'll notice with the original one here that it has folds. So it's been folded like this and then like this. It does have another little extra fold line on the back there actually. But so when I've printed it, you can see them very vaguely. You can see a little bit of a fold line here. You can't really see that one too well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and fold it similarly and see how it's not folded exactly. That's good because that's more, you know, authentic. So I'm not going to be too worried about it being exactly straight. I might fold it this way first because I can see that little fold line. And because this is shorter than the original one anyway, because the original one was longer than A4, some of the bottom is cut off. It's not going to be exactly in the middle, but I'm just looking for that fold line roughly, and I'm going to fold it on there. So, and it's a little bit crooked, so that's where that fold line's going to be. And then I'm just going to fold it across this way as well, like that. And I'm going to use a bone folder just to make sure they're creased down really well, because then, you know, it obviously looks like that it's been sitting flat inside a book or whatnot for a long time. So just really push them down really well. And then I'm just going to get some ink and ink those folds. And I've got some walnut stain here, my Tim Holtz walnut stain. And I've also got tea dye. But you might have something like vintage photo, just something similar, whatever you like to use. I'm going to get my little distress tool. I'm just going in with tea dye for now. And I just want to distress these folds. So a little bit extra where the folds meet there. It's usually a little bit more. So now you can see that fold looks a lot older just by doing that. I'm going to go fold back along with this one. Do this one as well. Didn't really get into that centre bit there. Go along the crease. I'm just going to do a bit on either side. And it doesn't matter if you're wrinkling up your paper a little bit, that just adds to the effect there. So now we've done that, you can see it's already looking older already, creases there. And you can do the same on the other side if you want to as well. So we'll just do that a little bit as well. But I'll be doing it a bit more after I have just stressed it a little bit as well. Okay. So yeah, and if your piece doesn't have folds in it, you can just obviously make up your own folds. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some distressing on the edges. So you need to be careful with this one because I'm going to use a sharp utility knife, or if you have a craft knife, where's my craft knife? Not sure. careful where my craft knife's gone, but so I'll give it a go with this utility knife. You could probably also use the sharp edge of your scissors, like this. But as I say, be really careful doing this. Don't sort of cut towards yourself. Make sure you cut away from yourself. So, and you can also buy distressing tools that you can use. And it doesn't matter if you rip it a little bit, because that's, you know, going to add to it too, but just very lightly. You can even rip a corner like this if you want to. Just do that. So I'm just going to go around all of the edges. Don't be careful not to cut into it, just sort of run it along the edge. You might want to do a bit more near the folds. So there, mine's ripped in a little bit to the fold there. Basically all the way around. And then I'll show you something else you can do. You can actually you can fold in one of your corners, you know, just maybe like this, as if it's got a little fold there, because that often happens with aged papers as well. And then maybe fold that a little bit back like that, and then you can come in again with your ink and stress your fold. And here, so then that looks, just go around the edges here. I might just maybe do this, and then that little fold there also looks pretty authentic as well. So you could leave that there like that. Just a little bit more ink on this bit here. So you can put a couple of tears and folds in there as well. And I think I went around all the edges. Maybe here a bit more. So now let's just distress all those edges again. Or I haven't done it yet, have I? Let's just distress all these edges, make them look old. So that's the ripped edge that I made there. Get a little bit of the walnut stain in some places. A little bit darker. Okay, so that's, you can see now how it is looking a lot older already. there. And you can do the back as well. So, and you can also distress on your fold lines. So I'm just gonna do this. And once again, doesn't matter if you rip it a little bit. A bit more where the creases join there. And so that's distressed even more. It's got like a couple of little holes in there, a couple of little rips. I don't know if you can see, but you can kind of see through it there. That looks pretty authentic. A bit more inking. There, and you can do all of your folds if you want to. Okay, so that's our little piece of ephemera. To make that look a bit older there. I can go over this. And you see how when I fold this back, you've got the lighter colour under there. So it looks as though it's been folded like that for a long time. So when you lift it up, this part is not so dirty or aged. So there's that. So that's how you can age your pieces of ephemera. But there's a couple of other things you can do as well. So I'll just show you. I'll fold that one. I think I'll fold it this way. There we go. Okay, so I've got an old library card here, and these were gifted to me by Dale McVeigh. She has a channel called Not Too Shabby Chic, and she makes some beautiful journals. So thanks very much for this, Dale. Came all the way from the US. And so I just want to age this one up a little bit. So firstly, just inking. I'm not going to distress or rip this. It's just, yeah, I just don't think I need to sort of tear the edges. But I am going to put a fold into this one and just, you know, put some dabs of ink sort of all over to make it look a bit dirty. So there you go. So that's starting to look old. And then I'm going to dog ear the top here. I'm going to make a fold. And then I'm going to ink along that fold. And then I'm going to just get my ruler. I'm going to add some ink onto the corner here like this. So then when you take that away, that looks like, you know, it's got dirty along that folded bit there. So that's another thing you can do. If you can see. And say if I wanted to glue an old piece or put an old piece of ephemera on here, there's other things you can do that you can stick things down and use pieces of sticky tape or packaging tape and make them look old also. So maybe if you were doing an old envelope or something and you know, you wanted to make it look like it had torn and, you know, it's been sticky taped up and things like that. So I just have some old music paper here. It's not, you know, it's not printed on any sort of paper. It's the original music paper, so it's reasonably thick. So, but I'm just going to start by just screwing it up like this, scrunching it up, and then I'll get my ink and just sort of, yeah, distress that on the, where I've scrunched it up there mostly, so that it gets in on the little folds. So you see that there now, it looks like a lot older piece of music paper. And then, you know, or this might be an old letter or something that you're using, but this is just an example. So go around the edges. And you can also make rips or tears in this one as well, and maybe tear the edges somewhere. Might tear off the corner. So but what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it down. I might just use my glue stick like this. So maybe you're making an old envelope, or you could do it with a journaling card and, you know, stick things down onto it, make them look like they've been there for a long time. And you just scrunch it as you stick it down. And then press it down like that. So that's looking like it's been there for a long time. Like that. And now I might want to put a piece of sticky tape down here. So, and I haven't tried it with this masking tape yet, but I'll try it with that as well. Or the packaging tape that you get, which is quite shiny. That's a really good one because it's sort of a vintagey colour already. Just having a sip of my coffee. So yeah, I'll just get a piece of sticky tape. And I'm going to stick it on here. Hopefully I can get it up again. And you know, just let it lose some of its sticky. And it's okay to crease it up as well. So let's just put a little bit of ink on there. So I'm just, you know, grunging it up. And then I'm going to stick that there. And it doesn't matter that I've folded it under or it's dog-eared, or because that just adds to it as well. So there I have what looks like an old piece of sticky tape holding that piece down. So let's just try with the with this packaging tape, masking tape, sorry, just a little piece. Do a similar kind of thing here. Let me add a bit of grunge to that. And yeah, sort of scrunch it up as I stick it down. And there, so that's it with that one too. So now that looks like it's been stuck on there for a long time, and the library card looks very old. So that's a technique that you can use in, you know, many things in your journal, any part of your journal. And this is the old aged piece of ephemera. So that's Freebie Friday number 14, I think it is. I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial, and I'll see you next Friday for another Freebie Friday. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.